Hello and welcome to Ninqueso Live, episode 18, where we're having a striptease going on live on camera. I'm joined by my co-host who will soon be opening up the most provocative OnlyFans you have ever seen. Legal disclaimer, no she won't. Miss Bree.
Hi, bestie. I was just a bit hot. I realised I'd forgotten to take my sweater off, and so I decided to do a striptease immediately.
I noticed that just as I was going live at the corner of my eye. There you were, taking your clothes off.
Don't look. It's gross.
So, I actually got asked because you know, like on Fall Guys, there's the big fans level. I called it OnlyFans because I'm humorous like that.
Yeah.
I actually got asked, "Do you have an OnlyFans?"
Really?
To which I replied, "No, I have a Patreon though." And they went, "What's that?" And I went, "Well, it's like OnlyFans, only with less nipples."
You know, we could do an OnlyFans. That would be great.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be weird.
Because people would see what we do, which, you know, would be for OnlyFans, which is a bit strange and unusual, but
that's what
involving
Patreon's
a lot of
for.
Cats.
Yes, and speaking of cats,
how are you, bestie?
I am good.
What have you been up to?
I have found the best mod ever for Skyrim.
Oh, I saw send me photos. It's a cat mod, isn't
There
it?
are cats involved, and and basically, there's actually two separate mods I've got going on. I've got the Jarl cat mod, where every Jarl has two pet cats that follow them around, and they dress in battle armor like they do.
I want that mod.
And there's also one where it just adds cats into the general populace as well. And again, it's like the couriers have all been cats so far. And do you know how the couriers talk? I've been looking for you. Have something.
That is a cat.
You know, you get this little tiny cat running up to you, and it's like, "I've been looking for you. Have something for you. Your hands only." And this is a little cat. It's great. And I had one as a follower as well, but it was a bit OP, the follower. It would like jump at people, and as it hit them, they would just go flying. It was like, it's a bit OP. I can't really have you as a follower, I'm afraid.
No.
You're ruining the game for me.
I'm going to say something controversial here. Almost as annoying as Lydia, who I killed.
Lydia, or have you seen Lydia? Lydia the tattoo lady.
Lydia is so popular, it's untrue. Some of the Facebook groups that I'm in, they're all about Lydia, and I've just no idea why. She's just the worst follower in my opinion. But there you go. I think it's boys, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's boys. That's the reason why they're like Ayla the Huntress as well.
But she's not even that good looking, really.
There's a mod for that also.
Oh, there's mods for everything. I've got a few. I've got a few of them on the PC version now.
Because boys.
Because boys, yes. I've got the wench mod as well, so it adds wenches to all the inns and taverns.
What's the equivalent for girls? You know, what mod can I get that makes the male equivalent of a wench?
I'm sure there's boy mods out there. I just haven't looked for them myself personally.
It's, shirtless dude mod. Wielding a big sword. And with that, let's move on to what have you been playing this week?
I've not played anything new this week, although that is a lie. I've just remembered. I've actually played a new game called, it's not new, it's old. Everyone knows what it is. I had to go on Among Us.
Did you?
I did. There's a streamer that I watch who, she was taking the night off streaming, and in a Discord, she set up like an Among Us game. Admittedly, only like 3 of us turned up, so we had to like do it with randoms as well. So we would just use like type in, because obviously people online, you don't really want to be talking to them if you don't have to.
No.
Sometimes they're, let's face it, a bit toxic. So we had to go at that, and now I want to set up my own Among Us game, which
I'm in.
Which is exactly, I knew you would be. I need to like pin you down for when, and then we can like try and organise it with the community. And do Among Us.
Do you know what? Barlett would be up for it, I'm sure.
She's in the chat. She's already said she would be.
Hey, Barlett. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a really simple game. But have you seen it? Do you know what it's about?
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
It's great. It's like one of the ones I like. I was actually the imposter, and I won.
No.
And I won. No one even like put suspicion to me. And in the chat, I just went, because I was playing with like Americans, I just put, it's the British accent, and no one suspects me. Even though we were typing.
So true.
Like, wahaha.
Ah,
How
so
about
you've been playing Among Us. We'll sort that out. Yeah, that'll be good.
yes,
That'll be really good.
yeah. Like you say, it will play on anything. I think by the look of it, and it's free on the phones as well.
That's fine then. I can put it on my iPhone.
Yeah, so you can get your boy to play it as well.
Well, speaking of the boy, there's been a massive breakthrough this week.
What, he's won a game of Warzone?
Well, the ongoing saga of Warzone,
Or he's killed someone?
He's killed someone. In fact, he's killed 2 in one game.
They were probably like 12-year-olds.
You're harsh. I'm very impressed with him. You know, this had been an ongoing issue and definitely sort of like almost a slur on his manhood. But when it happened, yeah, it was a major league breakthrough. Boyf has killed 2 people in one game.
Wow.
So Warzone has significantly moved ahead.
With all that Warzoning, did you get a chance to get on the Xbox?
I did. I've done a bit of Skyrim. He doesn't know. I did it while I was at work.
Secret Skyrim. It's like you got to play it on the...
Yeah.
Play it in
And also,
secret.
just with what you said just a couple of minutes ago about you don't want to chat with anybody. Well, I started playing Scrabble, online Scrabble, right?
That was a mistake.
I didn't even sign in with my Facebook because I didn't really want anybody to talk to me. I was really just playing with my daughter. But a random person, it's basically what you do is you challenge people to the game through the app. And his challenge was with a particularly long word, and I was fairly impressed. And there's a couple of turns gone by until what pops up at the chat box. Yes, he wants to know if I'm married. I said I just want to play Scrabble. And then it sort of like he kept on there and he says, I just want to be your friend. I thought, I've got lots of friends. In fact, I've got pretty much the one friend that I need for all of my lifetime across every single. Yes, that's you, bestie. So I'm like, I'm trying to ignore it. And then he said, would you like to make the game more interesting? I was like, dude, it's Scrabble. It can't be any more interesting. Anyway, so that's my cautionary tale of what happens
this is why
you get in the chat with strangers on the internet.
This is why we didn't have voice chat activated. I can see Among Us being a lot better with voice chat, though, because it's hard to do subterfuge while you're typing.
So I'm up for it as long as voice chat is turned off, right?
No, the voice chat's going to be on because it's just our community. It won't be with random people. It will just be with people that are following El Gran Queso, Ninqueso. No randoms. Just the core,
just only fans,
core followers, just the only fans, but with less nipples.
Yeah. Anywho, shall we do some quick?
Oh, do we have to? Quick news, the kind of news that we don't really want to talk about, but we feel we should mention. Yes, Barlett, there are some strange.
Tell me
people
about Doom
online.
Eternal.
Doom Eternal finally gets a Switch release date of 8th of December. 8th of December.
Woo.
That's pretty soon. I mean, the problem with Doom Eternal is it was meant to be coming out the same day as all the other versions back in March. And we've only just got it.
Back in March, a lot of things came out, didn't they?
Only just getting it. Cyberpunk 2077 will let players bring their game saves forward to PS5 and Xbox Series X. That's because they want you to buy it now and not wait for the next gen upgrade.
True.
But it also has leaked online. So there are actual people are playing it online. So if you want to avoid spoilers, probably best avoid the subject of Cyberpunk for the next 10 days. I think it comes out on the 10th. Microsoft.
So the exciting quick news.
Yeah, Microsoft Flight Simulator VR to launch as free upgrade in late December. Now, the only problem with this is, one, I would need a VR headset for my laptop, which would be a few £100s. Two, you would need an unbelievably powerful graphics card to be able to run 2 screens of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, yeah, you're going to need some demon supercomputer to play that. You really are. You've gone well blurry. And this is sad. March 31st is becoming Mario's Doomsday. Not only is 3D All-Stars going to stop being sold, not only is the Mario Game & Watch going to be made, not only is Mario 35 going to come down off of the online service, but now Nintendo have announced that Mario Maker on the Wii U is losing its online services on March 31st as well.
No.
And essentially, that is the game. It's also being taken down from the eShop as well, so you won't even be able to buy it. But to be fair, if there is no online service for that game, there is no game, because you play courses that are made by people and uploaded. So,
oh well,
it's a bit of a shame. And Pokemon teases a very special 25th anniversary celebration for 2021. Ooh. But that is all they've said. We've got something special coming up to celebrate in 2021.
No deets.
No details at all. But you can bet it's going to be good. 20. That's it. So that's the quick news, the kind of news that we don't want to talk about, but we feel we should mention. Although I would have quite happily talked about the Mario stuff. I just didn't see what there was to talk about it. There's nothing really you can say. It's stopping.
It is.
Why, Nintendo? Why? Yes.
It's the first day of December, which means our Game Pass.
Which the Game Pass and games with PlayStation Plus and games with Gold have all been announced. And they were actually announced like the day after our podcast. Or actually, I think one of them was even the same day. So people probably already know this. Games with Gold. We have got, between the 1st of December and the 31st of December, we've got The Raven remastered. And between the 16th to the 15th of January, 16th of December to the 15th of January, we've got Bleed. December 1st to December 15th, we've got Saints Row, Gat Out of Hell, which is an Xbox 360 game.
That's the one for you, isn't it?
I've got it. It's old. And we've also got the 16th to the 31st of December, Stacking, which is this weird game which is made like, you play a Russian doll and you get inside other Russian dolls, and it looks very strange. It's an odd. You can
play like lots and lots of different types of dolls. It's a puzzle solver.
Yeah, it's an odd one for Xbox this month. I wouldn't say it's a good one. I would say it's an odd one. They reckon it's cost $74.96 worth of money and 3,200 gamer score. There's nothing there I'm going to get. The Russian doll one actually looks quite interesting. To be fair, I like strange, but it's not a good win. I mean, I know someone actually posted up on. I saw a tweet actually from a guy called Spawnwave. They do a podcast as well. It's not bad, but ours is better. It's probably not. And he was like, "Oh, what's going on with Game with Gold?" And it's kind of like the problem is Game Pass. That's where their focus is. They want people on Game Pass, so what can they give away on Games with Gold? There's no point in them giving away Doom Eternal on Games with Gold when they want you to go to Game Pass to get it.
Yeah, yeah.
So Game Pass has kind of killed Games with Gold, I reckon.
I think so.
But
so what's on PlayStation?
On PlayStation Plus, which I no longer have anymore because I don't play Fall Guys on the PlayStation anymore. On PlayStation
this is
Plus,
actually an okay-ish sort of list. It's not fabulous, but it's okay-ish.
It's not bad. We've got 3 games. We got Just Cause 4, which is the biggie, I think. Rocket Arena, and a brand new game called Worms Rumble, which did actually have an open beta a couple of weekends ago, which I did play, and it's all right, but it's not great.
I think it gets old quite quickly. That one.
Oh, it's a battle royal, but it's like a 2D platform battle royal. So it's
I think it's a 32 player, isn't it?
Yeah. And the Rocket one as well is another online battle royal as well.
Yeah.
Which I understand why they want those sort of games to be on Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, because they want a player base. They want people in there playing it, buying their cosmetics and things.
Absolutely.
But to my knowledge, Rocket Arena has already failed. It's been out for a while. No one's playing it. No one talks about it.
It was an expensive game though for the fact that they've got to build up a base. Isn't it?
I don't pop on like Twitch and stuff and see people playing Rocket Arena as my suggested videos.
No.
So that's your PlayStation games, and again, I would, if I had PlayStation Plus, I would get the Worms game because it was all right. It was all right. I said that about Spellbound though, didn't I?
Yeah, and we got over Spellbound very, very
I've not
quickly.
played that for ages now. Spellbound.
No,
Spellbound has gone into the abyss of unknownness.
That's it.
Right.
Let's get on to the main news.
The main news. This next bit is kind of like there was a big interview with head of Xbox marketing Phil Spencer, and I kind of told you just pick out any bits you want to talk about because you know what bit I want to talk about. I just need to find it because it's like so much. So you keep talking.
This interview with Phil Spencer was on a podcast, and it was pretty wide-ranging interview, to be honest. He was fairly chatty, talked a little bit about how he started at Microsoft in 1988 as an intern, and he went through the people that he's seen in charge. I don't think he's a fan of Bill Gates from what he said. But there was some stuff that he I thought was. He talked about gaming as a unifier, particularly during the pandemic, because he said people have been sort of like separated, but that online community has grown very, very much stronger, and I think that's true. He also said that the pandemic has accelerated some of the trends in the industry and probably brought them through probably 1 to 2 years. In streaming. So, I thought, yeah, that's very, very true. He did actually talk about some of the games that have been proving more popular during the pandemic. Fall Guys and Animal Crossing, which are kind of like very much the antidote to some of the games that had been hyper realistic and very gritty, which I thought was an interesting comment. But for me, the most important thing that he talked about was the Series S.
Yeah.
And I thought that was quite interesting comment there because, you brought me an SD last year for my birthday.
The all digital.
The all digital Xbox, and I've actually really enjoyed that.
By mistake.
By mistake. But I have actually really enjoyed that because it's small and it fits in my flat, and I only download maybe 2 or 3 games at a time and play it like that. So it's been perfect, and I would definitely get a Series S if I could get one. Let's come on to that later.
They are easier to get than the X. They stay up for longer. I've been in a couple of opportunities where I could have bought one when I've been searching for the X. But for me, I just want to go the whole hog and get the X.
So he talked about their business strategy, and what he talked about was growth per user versus number of users, which to me was interesting because what he was saying was either we squeeze an extra $10 out of everybody that's currently using, or we increase the number of users. And he a quote I've got from here is, "We want to impact everyone on the planet," which is fairly ambitious. But what he also said was right. He said basically unless you increase the number of users, what you do is you just sit there, and every year your demographic is getting another year older, and you're looking at new ways to squeeze money out of them. So the reason that the Series S was brought forward, even though it complicates the landscape considerably, is because it's got an accessible price point. And therefore you're increasing your number. And also, here's the thing that we've said before is the industry is changing so fast. And most people who are now sort of like in their 20s and 30s are looking at streaming. There are fewer and fewer people like you who want the box and the artwork. I know you think that, but that's the case, because remember, they've never grown up they didn't buy CDs. They started off live streaming everything, and that's where they're at. So I thought his interview overall, for me, that was the most important and interesting bit, is talking about why the Series S has come about, and the sort of the shaping of the landscape through the pandemic this year, and what he's seeing for the next 12 months, which I thought was interesting. But what did you pick out of it, Becky?
Well, obviously I was sort of in this whole trying to get a next gen console, and I can't find the actual quote in this article because it is quite a big long podcast. I have scanned through it, but like one of the things he said, like there are people out there that would be happy to pay for an Xbox Series X now, be told it's going to get made on January 27th and it'll be with you February 18th, which is true. I would be happy with that. So they have sort of said maybe that's something they'll look into doing, which I think just makes so much sense, as opposed to just this drip feed, which is just getting snapped up. And it,
We said this last week that the way that they were trying to replicate the in-store experience online purchase platforms was
yeah,
just not working.
you
So,
know,
that was obviously your idea at the time, was kind of like a pre-order, but give them the money and say when it's made, send it to me.
yeah, it's like a controller. Like I got a controller for the Xbox and PC, and it was custom made for me. So you pay for it, and then they'll go. It'll because of the pandemic, it might be like a 4-week lead time to actually being made. Once it started to go into production, they emailed me saying your controller's being made now. So you just know, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
because you want that product, you're fine with waiting as long as you're being kept up to date with what's going on.
Yeah.
So I think that was like one of the big things that have come out here. I think it's a bit too late though now for this series, but hopefully in 7-8 years time when we get the next gen consoles, they might have learned something. See, if there is next gen consoles, who knows?
Hopefully.
Who knows?
But leading on from that, we can kind of segue into our next story.
Yeah, I just want to touch on one thing before we go to the next story.
Okay.
As you said, he said they kind of want to impact everyone with the gaming. And obviously, they've also said that within 12 months, they should have an xCloud app on TVs, just so you can just download it onto your TV.
Yeah.
So you don't need anything other than a controller to play it. I don't know how well that'll work, but obviously that'll open things up to a lot more people.
Yeah, sure, definitely, because not everybody would even get, think about, I'll go out and buy a console.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like the Netflix, isn't it? It's like you don't need anything other than just your TV and a payment card to pay each week. But yes, going to the next topic, which is the scalpers. The scalpers were like a bit offended that everyone's having a go at them.
I have no sympathy.
No, I don't. A scalper group says it has no regrets over reselling 3,500 PlayStation 5 consoles, and this is a UK-based group. So obviously,
I apologise to the world for this.
Obviously, the UK is not as big a market as some other places, but to get 3,500 consoles
is a lot.
It is. So a UK-based scalper group said it had no regrets over allegedly reselling almost 3,500 PlayStation 5 consoles for profit this month. And again, like I say, I don't really have anything against people reselling. It's the fact that they use a bot to get to the products quicker, take it out of your cart kind of thing, because they can just boom, 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 boom.
They're jumping ahead of you in the queue by using software, aren't they?
Yes, basically.
Which is horrifying,
I'm just
really.
going to answer this question, Barlett's just like, how do they even get that many? Essentially, these people, they sign up to... So it's not like one person. This is a subscription service where people pay monthly and they get access to tools that allows them to run a script that will, when the stock's there, they just press a button and the computer will just go boom, 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 and just buy the consoles, and it just keeps buying them. So that's how they've got hold of so many. And when like everyday people that are just trying to do it by typing stuff in, that's why people were getting products into their carts, but then it was coming out of their cart again because someone else had already bought like 2 or 3 of them. So it happens almost instantly with the product. But they actually came out with a statement, a little message to say, and their exact words...
This was unbelievable to
Yes.
me. They think they're Robin Hood here.
This is what they had to say about it. Lots of our community have been furloughed, made redundant, or at some form of disadvantage due to the pandemic. These people have managed to cover their bills, put food on their table, and supply Christmas presents to their children. It may be unfortunate that a child won't wake up to a PS5 this Christmas, but another child may have woken up with nothing. We have no regrets. I mean, that's absolute bull. Beep! If you've been furloughed or made redundant, you do not have £2,000-3,000 just sitting around and go, do you know what? I'm going to buy a load of Xboxes and PlayStations to resell. You just don't.
It's not, and I think it's outrageous to suggest that. Quite honestly, I really do. And to make out like they're the good guys, enabling poor children who have nothing, to have some. Give me a break,
Yep.
dudes. Give
Also,
me a freaking break.
the company
Do not play the little violin to me. You're not a charity. You're not helping people feed their children.
This company,
Marcus Rashford is doing that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, this company is selling subscriptions. So they're getting... And the company also denied that its users utilize bot software to obtain the console, despite one of its managers previously suggesting it did in the Business Insider report.
Honestly, they're just, full
sure,
of it.
We have... This is another quote from them. Sure, we had the advantage with our knowledge and monitors, but that's just being prepared, it said.
Whatever. Yeah, I don't buy it, and the fact that you felt it necessary to issue a statement, clearly you are feeling a little bit of guilt, which you jolly well should do.
And there's a picture of like loads of PS5s. This is you.
Yeah. Weirdly, I did see one being delivered the other day, and I was like tempted.
Quick, steal it.
Yeah, so the scalpers, though, didn't get it all their own way this week, did they?
Very, the online retailer, noticed that they were like sending multiple PS5s out to the same addresses, so they have actually they cancelled over 1,000 console orders,
which is great. They were informed of what was happening. Let's be honest, they didn't know themselves. They were given a heads up by someone else. So this is what used to be known in the UK as a catalogue shop.
Yeah.
And now it's really an online, pretty much, retailer. They don't send out the catalogues anymore. But they had unfortunately been a victim of the scalpers. There were multiple purchases, and they weren't really aware because they're quite an old-fashioned retailer, to be honest. I don't think they do an awful lot of business. But they were given the bad news, and they ended up cancelling the orders for over 1,000 consoles. So I'd like to say, cheers, Very. You're with the good guys.
I would like to say thank you, but I would also like to say, right, so where have these 1,000 console orders gone? Because I've never seen any stock on the very website. Ever. Ever. I
can't say I've visited there.
Oh, I've been visiting everywhere. But yeah, if they have, that's great. Thank you. I know it says 1,000 Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and I know there were more PlayStation 5s out in the wild than Xboxes. Again, my only real reason for wanting the Series X first over the PlayStation is I can afford to buy the console, but I can't afford to buy games. So the Xbox Series X makes sense because I've got Game Pass.
Okay.
That's why. If I was to get a PlayStation 5, that's great, but there's nothing on it that I could play. It's kind of like a waste of time for me personally.
So the console insanity doesn't stop with that story. It spills over into the next story and onto eBay.
eBay, yes. eBay has issued warnings to scammers who are selling photographs of the PS5.
So basically what is here is they put a listing, and on the listing is a photograph of a PS5, and they kind of make out that you kind of might be getting a PS5, but what you're actually bringing on is a photograph of a PS5. Now, some of these obviously are very clearly what they are, but others have got bids placed on them that seem to indicate that people think this is a real PS5.
I've got a picture up here where it's like, the title is Sony PlayStation Gen 5 Digital Edition 1 terabyte dash white dash photo only. Current bid £180.
Yeah. As if you'd bid £180 on a photo. Something's going on. But I do feel like they might have parallel accounts and put in a bid of the right sort of sounding amount.
Here's the thing. Not everyone is as clued up. Some people might only just see that when they're scrolling through PlayStation 5 going, oh my God, this is £800. Oh my God, that's £700. Oh, this one's only... And not read it all.
Yeah.
I made that exact... I mean, I'm fairly in the know with computer stuff. And I accidentally, on eBay, brought all digital edition, whereas I wanted to get a disc edition because I missed that little bit in the title. So it happens. I mean,
is that how you bought my Xbox?
Yeah, eBay.
Okay.
Second hand.
Fair enough.
Couldn't afford to buy you a new one. God, it's not worth that much.
I thought you were fond of me.
I am fond. That's why I got you a second hand one. So yeah, I mean, obviously, if you did end up buying this and then you realise what it was, you could easily get your money back easily. But yeah, so eBay has issued a warning to people like saying, stop doing this.
Yeah,
It's
so they've
naughty.
taken a lot of postings down over this.
Yeah, which is good because obviously they're trying to capitalise on people in the panic buying and everything. But it doesn't stop there with the whole exploits online stuff. PlayStation 5 users are getting their accounts banned following a new exploit. Now, do you know?
Permanently banned?
Yes, permanently banned, and getting consoles banned. Now, imagine if you bought a banned console that you couldn't go online with.
That'll happen.
Do you know what this exploit is? Do you want me to talk you through it?
So owners of a PS5 who've got a PlayStation Plus account,
you get access to
their membership gives them access to a collection of PS4 games for free.
Yep.
So what these dudes are now doing is selling access to their account. So it can be anywhere like $5 or something like that, but they sell it to 20 odd people, and are making money that way. Except Sony knows about this and can tell there's multiple.
What they have to do,
it's the IP address.
What they have to do is the people that buy it have to send them their PlayStation login details, and they log in. Because once you've logged in onto your PlayStation 5 and you've got access to the free PlayStation 4 games, you can access that on your PlayStation 4. So what people are doing is selling the PlayStation, is sending these people their PlayStation details. Very sensible to send your PlayStation personal info to a complete stranger online, by the way. They're logging in on their PlayStation 5. Then obviously the other people are probably changing their passwords if they're sensible, which they're probably not. And then they've got access to these free games. And Sony have kind of noticed there's a lot of people logging in on this one PlayStation 5. So they've actually started like banning people. And we're talking like proper lifetime bans, console bans. The people on the PlayStation 4 are only seem to be getting like a 2-3 month ban. They're not getting the lifetime bans, the ones that are... But the people who are actually selling it,
so the people who just bought a PS5 and have only had it in their sweaty little paws a week and decided to, well, there we are.
Yes. They've now got a console. So that's another reason why not to buy one off eBay at the moment. Because one of these people might be trying to sell their PlayStation 5 that has been banned. And that will happen. And there's not a lot you can do about it from what I've heard if a PlayStation has been banned.
This used to happen a lot of times when I used to work in a phone shop where they repaired phones, and used to get people coming in all the time saying, I bought this phone secondhand, but now it's not working. I can't access it. Can you unblock it? And the situation in the UK, for those who don't know, if there's an IMEI number, so there's an individual serial number inside each phone which identifies it to the phone network providers. And what they can do is they can issue a ban on that phone that stops it from being used anywhere in the UK. Now, if you were to take it outside the UK and put it on a non-UK network, you could use it. But I mean, these people have bought, they've paid £700 or £800 for, a nearly new iPhone. And they bring it in and say, sorry, it's barred. It's barred in the UK. But it's something to do with non-payment of the original phone bill. So it ends up being barred, and then obviously they sell it on. But there's nothing we can do about it in the phone shops, just to say that. There's nothing that can be done. It's the networks that have barred the phone. So this is what will happen, because they'll change hands. Why isn't it working? And they'll take it in to be repaired, and then they'll, the person behind the counter will give you the bad news.
Yeah.
As was my job. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings, but you've been done.
So people,
nothing I can do about it.
Stop being naughty. God, behave.
Yeah.
Okay, moving along. Nintendo has released the latest software update for the Nintendo Switch, which is version 11.00.
was quite a few bits they've swept up with
There's a lot of little bits. I think there's only really one thing worth touching on, because it's kind of got people excited and talking and speculating and getting their hopes up so high that they're going to get disappointed when it doesn't actually happen.
Dashed.
Yes, they've added one of the biggest things is on the menu. They've added a new little feature. I've updated. I've got it there. As you can see, there's a little like Nintendo Online button now, where you can go and it brings up all your online needs. So everything, like because at the moment you've got like the Super Nintendo and NES apps, which have games in, and all of those games can be accessed through this one button. So now this has led people to believe that, oh my God, that means surely they're going to release other systems soon, because they don't want to litter everything up with multiple icons for Game Boy and Nintendo 64 or GameCube. So people are expecting like we're going to get more systems added to the online service. I don't know where they're getting this from.
I think it's speculation.
It is. I mean, we probably will at some point. Whether it'll be anything decent, who knows? I doubt it's going to be N64 for the sheer fact that they've just released the 3D All-Stars and they've got Mario 64, which is an N64 game, running through emulation on there.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes much more sense than to start going, do you know what? If we're going to release this content, we should probably charge for it, because people will buy this.
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think they've kind of looked at the NES and SNES and like, look, we've milked this so much. Yeah, we're probably going to get money, but at least this way we're kind of drawing people into the online thing. So I doubt we're going to get N64 anytime soon. I think it's probably, Game Boy, maybe. Yeah. But I don't know, Game Boy on the Switch. I mean, saying that, there is a Game Boy game coming out which Square Enix is releasing, and apparently in handheld mode you can turn you can take the Joy-Cons off, turn it round, and it looks like a Game Boy when you play it on the screen with touch screen. All right. So that's kind of novel. So so that's like the main big thing that people are getting all excited about with this update.
Well, the main big thing that I'm getting excited about is Mario Kart Ride.
Yes.
Where's that?
It's in Japan, isn't it? Super Nintendo World will open in February 2021, and there's images of a Mario Kart ride. Actually. Sorry?
May the 4th.
May the 4th.
It's the 4th of February it's opening. So I've watched the video and I'm beyond excited. I feel like we've got so much to do in Japan, Bestie.
I know, we need to go. So yeah, Nintendo World just looks absolutely amazing. There's the video playing now. You're very cutty outy today. The stream is not going well. It's your fault. I think we need to look into new ways. I think is happening?
I need to investigate downstairs because I've got a feeling
is he on Warzone?
He's using the network connection to play Warzone, in which I might have to put a stop to that.
You might have to put a stop to that. There's the Mario Kart ride. Look at those carts. Woo! Is it augmented reality? I've heard. I've not really looked into it too much, but I'm sure I saw somewhere that the Mario Kart ride is augmented reality.
It is.
Oh, that's amazing. So that means you can shoot shells and things at people while you're driving.
You have a little headset each as you get on.
Oh, when are we going? I know, right? There's a little bit here where it's got an overview of the park. I don't know if you noticed. No, I didn't go back far enough. Come back.
We could stream our podcast live from Japan.
If you noticed, hopefully you can see the cursor on the... Yeah, you can. There's little Yoshi cars up the top here going around. And it's
epic.
Like, oh, wow. I want to go. I don't know how good it'll be, but I want to go.
I'm willing to risk it.
I'd risk it for a biscuit.
So we see Sonic in the Woods, Super Nintendo World.
Would eat some ramen.
That's it. What's not to like? I feel like we could definitely spend a couple of weeks.
Exactly. I'm not sure Kelly would be too happy.
Okay, so our
last bit of news. This has been a 20-year battle with Nintendo, and it is finally over. Everything's been sorted out. Everything is fine. For 20 years, the Pokemon Alakazam has not been allowed to be on a Pokemon card because Uri Geller said it looked like him because it held a spoon.
That's spoon nonsense, honestly.
Yes.
Who believed that? Who believed it?
So Uri Geller actually put a tweet up.
And there was a little video of him opening up a suitcase all filled with...
Yeah, so basically, like, this is on Polygon. I'm just blatantly reading what they've put. 2 decades ago, magician and illusionist Uri Geller sued Nintendo in a California court for its Kadabra Pokemon card, alleging that the company used his likeness to create the character. You see,
I think they might have.
Geller is known for his spoon-bending trick, just like Kadabra. Now Geller is apologising for the lawsuit in which he claimed Nintendo turned him into an evil, occult Pokemon character. So,
well, he was a bit of a... Well, I say was. He's still alive, but he is a bit of a strange one. He was best mates with Michael Jackson, to start with. He bent spoons. Why? We never found out. He says he can read the future. I mean, the guy's a bit odd. Let's be honest.
But he's put a tweet out. He put a tweet out with... in regards to this, and bear in mind this was 20 years ago and Kadabra's still not been allowed on a Pokemon card. I never realised how powerful and important it was for me to lift the ban on Kadabra, especially for all the kids around the world. I'm sorry for what I did 20 years ago, but you can learn from mistakes even more than you can learn from success.
Oh my god. Who does he think he is? Seriously.
He thinks this is going to make him relevant again.
Yes, he does. I was about to say that. This is PR.
He's been sat in obscurity for the last 15 years, surrounded by bent spoons.
That's it. I think so. I think he just wants to get in on the gaming world because it started to go so big.
Have you seen the picture of him sat in front of his car?
Yeah.
With all the bent spoon pictures on it.
Nut job. He's a nut job. He really is. Like you say, I think he thinks this will bring him back into relevance again. Because at the end of the day, if you had a lawsuit, you just drop it. You don't need to apologise, dude. What are you apologising for? Nobody cares. We've all moved on. We're into Animal Crossing these days.
Later, he published a video where he sorted through a large suitcase full of Kadabra memorabilia.
I've seen that. When you call it memorabilia, it's mostly junk.
Obviously, he's been collecting. He's probably like, I'm so happy I'm a Pokemon.
Where did you get that from?
The Pokemon company told Polygon it has nothing to share at this time.
Basically, we don't care.
They were like, what? Has he? Oh, okay. Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, so that
was
are
the
news stories today.
News of the day. News of the day. News of the day. That wasn't a very good song. We won't do the news of the day song again. That was all the news for the week that I found worthwhile talking about. I'm sure there was a lot more. And let us know
we have
if
a
there's
bit of a
other things.
roundup, really, don't we? Rather than covering absolutely everything. Is there any questions in the chat, Bestie?
No one cares. Debbie and Bartlett have been having a little bit of a chat to themselves.
Okay. I guess.
More interested than us.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a strong word there. I can't read that out. I've never heard so much beep in my life.
Oh, harsh.
I think that has something to do with the Uri Geller card.
Uri Geller, yeah. I feel the same way. I've never heard so much beep in my life.
But if you have got any questions, you can reach us on Twitter. Just use the hashtag Ninqueso Live. I haven't actually checked that for weeks. We've probably got like bucket loads of questions. Or you can ask us, leave a comment on our YouTube video where we upload this to YouTube, which will be there for your viewing pleasure tomorrow. Otherwise, pop a question in the chat and we will do our best to answer it.
Cool. Where can they find you, Bestie?
They can find me on Facebook as ElGranQueso74. They can find me on YouTube with lots of different Ninqueso channels. They can find me on Twitter at Queso_cheeselets. Yes, sorry, I'm just answering to Debbie. Yes, I thought you meant that about the Pokemon story because it is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Really is.
You can find me on Twitter as GamerGirlMissBrie. That's GMRGRL_MISSBRIE, and I'm quite chatty on there. So come and say hi to me, ask me a question, or just wave. I don't mind. Whatever you do, I'm quite friendly.
Yes, so that's it. So should we do the outro? Okay, so this is how the outro goes because you've been getting it wrong. Okay. I do the outro, okay? We play the brum. You do the
Yeah.
actual stories may vary.
Yeah.
Then you go straight into say goodnight, bestie. I say goodnight, bestie. Then we end. Okay?
Are you going to remember to press the button?
I will remember. My finger's on the button now.
Have you got
My
the buttons
finger
lined
is
up?
on the button now. My
All
finger
right.
is on the
In
button
3,
now.
in 2, in 1. Let's go.
Will Uri Geller be bending spoons on national television again now he has dropped his lawsuit? Will he bend a PlayStation 5 just to annoy the scalpers? Find out the questions to these answers. Same cheesy time, same cheesy channel.
Actual stories may vary. Say goodnight, bestie.
Good night, bestie.